I was only 13 when I ran away from home, and I didn't do it for attention. I did it because my house never felt safe. My stepmother blamed me for everything, and my dad spent more time drinking than caring if I was okay. One night, after another argument, I packed 2 shirts, my phone charger, and the little cash I had saved in secret. I told myself I'd be gone for 1 day, maybe 2. I never thought it would turn into a nightmare that would follow me forever. For the first few days, the streets didn't feel that scary. I slept in parks, behind a closed library, and under a bus stop when it rained. I learned how to eat slowly so food would last longer. I learned how to act like I wasn't cold, even when my hands were shaking. By the 7th night, I only had $4 left. My stomach hurt so badly that it felt like it was folding in on itself. I was sitting on a curb, watching the sky turn orange as the sun went down, when I heard something that didn't belong there, the soft, cheerful music of an ice cream truck. For a moment, I thought it was a joke, ice cream, when I was starving, but the sound got closer, rolling slowly down the street. My body stood up before my brain could stop it. The truck stopped in front of me. A man leaned out of the window. He had a messy beard and tired eyes, the kind of face you would forget right away. He smiled and said it was late for ice cream. I told him it was all I could afford for dinner. He laughed and handed me a cheap vanilla cone. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it. That first bite felt like heaven. While I ate, he asked me questions. Where were my parents? Did I have somewhere to go? I don't know why, but I told him the truth. I told him I was a runaway. His smile changed. He looked at me like he was thinking very carefully. Then he said his wife was cooking food and I could stay the night. Warm food, a bed, safety. Every warning in my head screamed no, but hunger was louder. I climbed into the truck. The door shut with a heavy sound that made my chest feel tight. The inside smelled like sugar and metal. The happy music started playing again as we drove. At first, I felt relieved. I wouldn't be sleeping outside tonight. But then I noticed the streetlights fading. The houses disappeared. We were leaving town. I asked him why we were going this way, but he didn't answer. He drove into a dark construction area and stopped. When he turned to me, his smile was gone. He said he had lied. He didn't have a wife. My heart started beating so hard it hurt. I tried to open the door, but it wouldn't move. He leaned close to me, his breath smelling bad, and told me to relax. I started screaming. I kicked the door. I cried and begged as he reached toward me. I thought that was the moment everything was going to end. Then a bright flashlight hit the window. A night guard was standing outside, yelling that the truck had to move. The man panicked. He threw the door open and shoved me out. I hit the ground hard, but I didn't care. I was free. The truck sped away, the ice cream music playing like a cruel joke. The police never found him. My aunt took me in after that. I have a room now, food, and a lock on my door. But every time I hear an ice cream truck, my body freezes. Because hunger made me trust the wrong smile, and that sound will haunt me forever. I had been driving an ice cream truck for years, long enough that the streets felt like they were carved into my hands. Same roads, same parks, same smiling kids. But when the sun went down, the happy jingle started to feel wrong, like it was echoing into places it shouldn't reach. I sold ice cream near a place called Busasai Woods, where trees swallowed sound and shadows stayed too long. That evening, kids were leaving the park, parents calling their names, shoes dragging across the ground. I shut off the engine and let the music fade. That's when I noticed a boy standing near my window. He wasn't smiling, he wasn't excited, he was just waiting, still and quiet, like he didn't belong there. He looked about 8 or 9 years old. His skin was pale, his body thin, and there was a deep scar across his forehead. When he spoke, his voice was flat and cold. Chocolate vanilla. As I reached for the freezer, I saw his hands. They were covered in thick mud, and his knuckles were bruised and bloody. I handed him the ice cream. He didn't say thank you. He didn't smile. He just turned around and walked away. I called after him, telling him he hadn't paid, but he kept walking. No matter how fast I followed, the distance between us never changed. It felt like something was pulling me forward. We left the park and entered the woods. The air grew heavy. The sounds of the city disappeared. All I could hear was my breathing and the boy's footsteps. Then he stopped. When he turned around, he smiled, but it wasn't a normal smile. It was wide and sharp, like he was showing his teeth. The boy suddenly ran. I chased him through branches and shadows until he slipped into an old, broken cabin hidden deep in the woods. The place looked abandoned, falling apart, and forgotten. I followed him inside, calling out, but there was no answer. The cabin was empty. Then the floor cracked beneath me. I fell forward and saw what was hidden below the boards. A small pit filled with bones. A child's skeleton lay there, wrapped in dirty clothes. The skull had a crack in it, right where the boy's scar had been. I felt a cold breath behind me, a soft laugh. When I turned, the boy was standing there again, but now he was crying. Tears ran down his pale face. "You found me," he said. "Please tell my mommy I love her." When the police came, they confirmed the bones belonged to a boy named Ryan who had been missing for 3 years. He was killed by a blow to the head. I stood with his parents at the funeral. His mother cried into my shirt. His father held my hand like he might fall apart. I still sell ice cream at that park. The kids still laugh. The music still plays. But sometimes, when the woods go quiet, I swear I see a small boy standing between the trees, holding a melting cone, still waiting to be found. When I was 9 years old, my parents left town for the weekend, leaving me home alone with my older sister, Kathy. That night felt exciting at first. Kathy was going out with her friends, and before she left, she gave me money for pizza and told me to lock the doors. When she walked out, the house felt big, quiet, and free. I turned the TV up and relaxed on the couch. For the first time, no one was telling me what to do. About an hour later, while I was about to order food, I heard a soft jingle. I thought it was coming from the TV, but when I muted it, I realized it was coming from outside. I looked outside and saw an ice cream truck parked on our street. Its lights were glowing too bright, and there were no kids around. The street was empty. It felt wrong, but I really wanted ice cream. So I put on my shoes and went outside. The ice cream man leaned out of the window. He was old, with small eyes and deep wrinkles. He smiled, but it didn't feel friendly. I told him my sister gave me money. When I told him my parents weren't home, his smile changed. He started asking how long I'd be alone and if we had cameras. That's when fear hit me. I said I forgot something and ran back inside. I locked the door, then locked it again. I waited until the truck finally drove away. I tried to calm down, telling myself I was just being silly. Later, I woke up thirsty. The house was dark. Kathy wasn't home yet. As I walked into the kitchen, my bottle cap fell and rolled under the dining table. When I crawled down to grab it, I heard a soft click. Heavy footsteps entered the kitchen. I saw dusty boots moving across the floor. The person wasn't stealing anything. He was opening drawers, checking rooms. He was looking for someone. The footsteps stopped right beside me. A shadow bent down. I smelled sweat. A familiar voice whispered, "I know you're hiding. I'll find you." My whole body was shaking, but I didn't make a sound. Suddenly, the front door opened. My sister's voice filled the house. The man ran. The back door slammed. Kathy found me crying under the table and called the police. The police found footprints, but no fingerprints. Nothing was stolen, because the man didn't come for things. He came for me, and I know it was the ice cream man. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe my channel. See you on next videos. Till then, goodbye.